This is Chris Roberts from MTBS-TV here at CES 2020. We're in the Pimax booth with Kevin Henderson, who's the Chief Operating Officer for Pimax. It's great to talk to you.
Great to see you again, Chris.
So what does Pimax have right now in the market?
Well, right now in the market, we have all the way up through our 8K Plus, which is our latest headset, and their new Vision series. So the 8K Plus has all new housing. It's got that new strap, new integrated audio. It's got a new comfort kit, which is very soft and comfortable, articulating head cradle, and a lot more. So, and of course, the very high resolution and our famous wide field of view that people have seen. But it's the latest iteration of those things. And
okay.
We're showing that here at CES 2020, and we've just begun shipping that version of the headset. Of course, we also have the 8KX, which a lot of people have been waiting for. And we have a whole quite a few of those in the samples here for people to test and see, of course. And those begin shipping next week. So, so the first people who have pre-ordered those, which are quite a few people, will start receiving them very shortly.
Okay, for those who don't know, what's the differentiating factor between the 8KX and the 8K Plus?
So the 8K Plus is 4K per eye, but it's scaled from a 2.5K signal. Okay, so on the 8KX, it's 4K per eye, no scaling, it's native, and these units have a very high panel utilization, so the percentage of the panel that you see is also very high, and it's also RGB striped, so you have a lot of sub-pixel data, so the sharpness and the clarity and the quality that you get out of this is top-notch. It's the best, visual quality you can get in VR right now. And so that's what we're showing here today. The 8KX is our top of the line, and it retails for $12.99. The 8K Plus is $9.99, one step below. And it uses a scaler to get to 4K per eye. The idea is that on a headset like this, a lot of people complain about the screen door effect where you can see the dots. Both of these headsets eliminate that completely. Even the pixel peepers, the ones that have the eagle eye, right? They can see every dot. I've never heard someone say that they can see SDE on any of these headsets. The pixels are, microscopically small.
So I have to say that I own a 5K Plus, and I use it every day.
You can see all the differences. This is quite a different deal than what you have.
It's tremendously different, and there's a few things that I wanted to talk about a little bit as far as even just the overall creature comforts.
Right.
Obviously, you guys have made a lot of improvements since I got my unit last year.
Yeah, the head strap for being one, right, and then the comfort kit being another. And if you feel this material in the comfort kit, it's vastly improved over previous materials, and the articulating head cradle is new, and we've got foam all the way around, and of course, if you were a backer, you're going to get this. We're going to begin shipping these to all backers. So there are thousands of these that are going to be going out to people who backed us originally. So this is so if you are a backer and you're watching this, this is the piece that you're going to get. This strap that goes around like this, and this is the audio right here. So you can easily just snap this in, connect the strap, and you're just like that, right? And you can attach it in just a couple of minutes, and it's a pretty good upgrade. You're gonna get it very soon. So we just started manufacturing small numbers of these.
So on the one hand, there's the physical creature comforts, the strap, the facial interface, the actual way that it feels on your face. I also want to talk a little bit about some of the software side of creature comfort stuff. It seems like Pimax has been pretty progressive in terms of introducing features that I don't see on any other headset, as far as the vertical offset adjustments, software as well as hardware IPD adjustments, things that you can really use it to dial it into your individual physiology and get it so that it's as comfortable as possible.
The key is if we get a request and it's reasonable and it's something that we can try to do, we try to get it in there, and not only that, we try to allow it to be used on any headset that we make. So if you have a 5K Plus, an 8K, an XR, anything we've made, we try to get it to where you can do that. High refresh rate, I don't know if you upgraded yours recently, but we started increasing the refresh rates on the 5K Plus, and we started giving those out in free firmware updates.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Some people said, hey, with the physical IPD adjustment, that they wanted a software IPD adjustment as well. So we did that. Then they said, hey, we need to do each eye. So we did that. We want to adjust the black levels. So we did that. We want to adjust each individual color saturation level. And we did that. As you know, we've done a lot. And we got a giant list of things that we're going to be adding. So if you already have a Pimax headset, you can expect to see more of these requests implemented. And on these new headsets, of course, they offer even a much greater level of comfort and resolution and as far as the electronics and the whole package goes. We've come a long way with the design as far as the visual aspect of it, and of course the refresh rate and a lot of other things. In fact, here at the show, we're showing the 8K Plus running at 120 hertz. So not only is it a scale up to 4K per eye, it's also 120 hertz with a very high refresh rate for such a high resolution. And on top of that, the 8KX now has a mode where you can switch it into 8K Plus mode. So you can run it in a scaled mode to have a really high refresh rate, or if you want native 4K per eye maximum fidelity, you can do that too on the same headset.
That's amazing. And in the sim racing community that I participate in, the 120 hertz upgrade was tremendous. And it seems like historically there's been 3 primary dimensions for headsets, where you've got field of view, you've got resolution,
correct,
and you've got refresh rate.
Right.
And it seemed like there's things on the market that tailored each one of those individually. Right. But with the update for 120 hertz on the Pimax, right, with the increased resolution, it seems like you guys are trying to focus on mastering all of those. Yeah,
we've been working on the comfort with the comfort kit here with the new foam, where people can just add that to any existing headset with the strap. That's one of the things we've been working hard on. The refresh rate, obviously, that is a comfort thing. For some people, refresh rate's considered to be a comfort thing. They want that buttery smooth refresh rate, and so we worked hard on that. Our engineering guys did that. So that we've implemented, given out for free as firmware update. That's another aspect of it. Having where you can control the colors and the contrast, same thing. Sim racers, they set those adjustments, then making it where you could save those settings into a profile. That's another thing, and have it where that game has that profile, so you have that. But as we move into the future, we have a very large list of requests, and we try to evaluate those and try to determine what's going to get in there and what we're going to be working on. Right. So so that's what we're doing now. Is I think we released a new version of PyTool today. Same thing. It's the next evolution. Everybody gets it all the way back to the very first 5K series headset that we made.
Well, and it's challenging, obviously, trying to balance new features versus performance increases, sure, and all of those.
And there's a potential that you can cause problems with an update, so you have to watch out. You got to be careful. Sometimes an update a new update can be worse than the previous one, so you got to make sure that you test it in a pretty wide variety of situations. And so we go down that path, and occasionally we do find something we have to go back and refresh. But we've roughly once a month is our update cadence now, and with these new headsets we'll probably be about the same. We'll be updating these about once a month.
It does seem like pushing all the dimensions requires effectively the best computer that you can buy. But it also seems like we've seen in the last year there have been a number of software level improvements that utilize existing silicon in better ways for single pass stereo rendering, variable subsampling, stuff like that.
NVIDIA's doing a lot. They released the driver update yesterday with the VRSS, which you can enable with I think 26 different titles now. You can get a nice frame. You can improve the frame rate on a lot of popular things just from that outside of PyTool. Every release of PyTool has had a better performance than the previous. We squeeze out another frame or two here or there. If you go back, say, a year and compare, you can see that. Of course, in the future, we're going to try to keep evolving that and work together with NVIDIA to bring in some of their features as we've done. Of course, one of the features we've implemented is the fixed foveated rendering, which is a feature that you can enable universally on a PyTool and get FFR. Of course, here at the show, we're showing our production version of our eye tracking with dynamic foveated rendering as opposed to FFR, fixed foveated rendering. So we're showing DFR now. So people can also add, and here there's a port here on the top of these headsets where you can plug in our eye tracking solution. We work together with 7 Invenson, whose booth is right down the hallway right there. The eye tracking solution snaps in with magnets. We have a magnetic connector that allows you to connect the eye tracking here. All of our headsets are compatible with that.
That's one of the things I'm really glad you spoke about, because I did get the opportunity to check it out. And, having it seems like dynamic foveated rendering is a grail for VR.
Really
at what level, is that something that gets handled mostly at NVIDIA or Steam VR or PyTool, or is it through the whole stack?
It has to be baked into the whole stack. Yeah, it's one of those things that it has to be supported throughout the stack. I would mention though, I've had samples of the 8KX, which is our 4K uncompressed per eye device for a while, different iterations of it, and I found something interesting. You automatically think that with something that high of resolution, man, you need 2 computers to run it, or you need something that doesn't exist, perhaps. But the truth is, it's not true. The reason is because on my other headsets, even my 5K Plus, I crank up the super sampling. I'm running at 350% to get the best visual fidelity I can.
You can turn that down.
But with a headset like this, you don't need it. So that you don't need to run super sampling at all. So when you're running 4K per eye, that all happens in the software anyway. The rendering engine of most, as Chris, this is the expert on that. But developers work in trying to get the best visual fidelity they can naturally. Super sampling in effect is on top of that, and it's an extra pass. So hence, you're really get a much larger hit on performance. With a headset like this, you don't have to do that. So I was finding the difference is very small between this and my 5K Plus on the performance requirement. I could do really well with an 8KX. So I think that people will be pleasantly surprised when they start testing this thing. When people start getting them next week, which we're very excited about, of course. People start receiving them next week, they're going to see that they can achieve surprising levels of performance with 4K per eye, native 4K per eye.
You just touched on one other thing as far as people getting them. There were some really exciting things that happened this year for Pimax in terms of retail distribution, going on sale on Amazon and stuff like that.
And we want to continue that. Our goal is to have these headsets as easy to obtain as possible. But Amazon handles things like returns and a lot of the logistical aspects of it that go with that, for people that feel more comfortable doing it that way than buying it, for instance, from Pimax.com. So that is an option. We're going to see many more options that go along with that this year. So we're going to expand the avenues that you can buy Pimax headsets. We're going to be doing some retail where you can go in and you can buy it in store in some places and things like that. So there's a lot of places that will have these devices. And of course, one thing that we are announcing at the show that we've been talking about is our new Artisan headset, which is this headset right here. The Artisan has a lower field of view. It's 170 degrees diagonal, 140 degrees horizontal, but it has a retail price of just $450. So for $450, you can get a Pimax headset that also has stream tracking, Lighthouse 2.0 or 1.0. You can use the index controllers if you wish. We have a bundle where you can get it with the Nolo hand tracking and 6 degrees of freedom. $599, you get earphones, you get the tracking, you get the hands, you get the entire package. And if you want to, you don't have to use that. Later on, you can upgrade. You can get the index controllers, you can get the base stations, and you can get rid of the Nolo. The newest version of Nolo is actually very good. It reminds me very much of having one base station. So it's basically it's almost like having Steam with one base station. But it works great. You can throw your Artisan headset on a laptop with an older video card, run the Nolo, no setup required. You can show people immediately how nice high mid-range VR works. Everything that you get for the Artisan is compatible with the X and the 8K Plus, meaning if you get the strap, if you get the comfort kit, any of the parts that you buy, eye tracking, hand tracking, wireless, which is something we're offering later in the year, are all compatible. That means that you can just pop those off of that, and when, just think of it like a 2080 Ti. Today, 2080 Ti, what? For a while there, it's $1,500 or something, right? It's going to be $1,000, $700, $500, whatever, right? That's how electronic business works. Well, the 8KX will follow a similar thing. Eventually, it'll be the X that is the low end for us, and then we have something better. So you'll be able to take everything you got on your Artisan, move it over to the X whenever you want, keep all your stuff. There's an upgrade path. You can use the Steam tracking, the index controllers. All of your software will continue to operate. It'll just be higher quality as you move on down the road. So it's an easy way to get into the ecosystem for $450. So
great, and it's amazing seeing the progress you guys have made over the years.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot really cool here at CES. So thank you very much, Kevin, for joining us.
Very exciting, and thank you guys for spending the time with me. Thank you guys for coming in here. We really appreciate it.
Great. Thanks again. This is Chris Roberts for Meant to Be Seen TV. Stay tuned. We will, of course, be back with more. Thanks.